come to you, you gave me food, clothes and protection too. You said don't worry about a thing, just show your loyalty, it's the comfort that you'll bring. When I look around, I got papers and passport waiting on my visa. I soon gonna be straight. Boss lady tell me send for family. She can clean the house and iron the clothes for me. Confidential, it's a confidential thing. This matter is serious. We don't know what it will bring. Confidential, we must regulate this thing. Confidential, we don't know what it will bring. Modern facility in Alabama, Exuma, from Bahamas and Island. Now for the capital, Carmichael Road, Carbon Road, now for Village and Coconut Grove. Communities all over the place, disregarding this bohemian race.
Tonight, pandemonium in Parliament. Chaos erupts, a mace is thrown, and the people take to the street. Also, a historic move, a new commissioner of police has been named following the resignation of Clayton Fernanda amid a cloud of controversy. And later, new legislation tabled aimed at tackling corruption. Eyewitness News starts now.
Now I will say, get him, get him, get him, get him. Eyewitness News. Our country is in shambles. They would rather be aggressive with us than be aggressive against criminals.
What happened up here today was theatrics.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Nawal. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, in a scene reminiscent of a pivotal moment in Bahamian parliamentary history, the House of Assembly turned into turmoil today when the historic mace was hurled outside during a heated session. We have team coverage tonight. Our Jose Etienne and Laurencia Smith standing by. It prompted substantial police presence and also resulted in injury. This unrest followed a protest that spiraled out of control outside of the halls of Parliament. Jose has been following this story for most of the day. He joins me live tonight from the House of Assembly. Jose?
Janaea, it is a pretty scene here outside the lower chamber, but what you're looking at right now diametrically opposes the uproar, the turbulence that gripped this part of the Bay Street area where the lower chamber sits. And so it's being called pandemonium inside Parliament as a member of Parliament from the opposition Free National Movement seemed to have had enough of the House Speaker, Patricia DeVoe, reportedly silencing his opposition colleagues. And so he literally took matters into his own hands to make the opposition's voice loud and clear.
Now I will say.
A visibly frustrated opposition member of Parliament, Shannon Dawn Cartwright, hurling the mace, a parliamentary instrument, out of the House of Assembly's window on Wednesday morning after opposition leader Michael Pintard was denied an opportunity to speak in the lower chamber.
Okay.
Government may have its way, the opposition ought to have its say, Madam Speaker.
But his actions, which sparked total chaos in Parliament, did not go unpunished.
Remove the honourable member for St. Barnabas from these proceedings.
Cartwright, Pintard, and the rest of the opposition were subsequently dragged out of the lower chamber. Moments after Pintard and his parliamentary caucus were hauled out of parliament, he addressed reporters amid a ruckus scene, insisting that there continues to be wrongful aggression towards the opposition.
That's typical of this administration. They are a disgrace. They would rather be aggressive with us than be aggressive against criminals.
And as for critics, particularly those on the governing side who say Cartwright's actions were simply theatrics that took center stage in the lower chamber.
What is theatrics is this government that continues to do a poor job bringing relief to the Bahamian people. Disrepute has been brought to the name of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and this government must stand up and hold itself accountable.
St. Anne's MP Adrian White was among the opposition's MPs who were thrown out of parliament. He's decrying the way he says police mishandled him.
We have the dream about the police that incarcerate us in Central Station, taking into vehicles, SWAT vehicles, almost thrown down the stairs on the way down. I'm a member of parliament, attorney for 20 years. This is not my Bahamas.
Now, the pandemonium began long before Pintard and other opposition members of parliament went inside the lower chamber. Shortly after 9 a.m. today, opposition executives and supporters marched down Bay Street as they strolled a casket to suggest that democracy is dying at the hands of the Davis administration, only to be confronted by Police Assistant Commissioner Javargo Dames and other police and defense force officers who seemingly obstructed the opposition from having its way in the middle of Bay Street. But Pintard told reporters that the opposition refuses to sit idly by as the country's reputation is being sullied on the heels of a United States indictment that levied severe corruption allegations against a senior police officer, senior defense force officer, and an unidentified high-ranking Bahamian politician.
Either they are incompetent or they are complicit. Yes. Or maybe it's both. What we are saying today is we are no longer going to tolerate their refusal to answer questions put to them.
Now, Janea, by the time that state of disorder began to dwindle, we spoke with opposition leader Michael Pintard, who says he and his opposition caucus had an opportunity to speak with the Prime Minister, Philip Davis, as it relates to the opposition's concerns. A conversation Pintard described as civil. But opposition officials say there are no regrets about all that unfolded here outside the lower chamber. They say they're simply looking to do the people's business, even if it's from the other side. Reporting live from House Chambers, I'm Jose Etienne, sending it back to you, Janelle.
So much for an excellent job today, Jose. Well, our team coverage continues with our Laurencia Smith. This as members of the government mince no words categorizing the opposition's actions in the lower chamber, describing their actions as nothing more than theatrics and accuse them of undermining the serious nature of the political process. Our Laurencia Smith is standing by tonight. Laurencia?
Yes, Shanae, I'm here live outside of the office of the Prime Minister, and as you mentioned, I spent most of the day alongside Jose outside of Parliament covering what many would call a historic day. We saw Deputy Leader Shannon Dawn Cartwright throw the mace out of the window. We saw members of the F&M caucus being hauled out of Parliament and protesters chanting for change. However, members of the governing party was of a different view. They called today nothing but more than political theatrics and a disgrace to our democracy. Now, I stood to the foot of the steps in the lobby area of the lower chamber as members filed out, and I had a chance to speak with the Attorney General, who said that today was nothing but complete chaos.
Complete chaos, disregard for the Bahamian people, for the Bahamian institutions, and they should all be ashamed of themselves. I physically saw them assault police officers. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Angliston MP Glenys Hannah Martin suggested that Cartwright's actions were an attempt to recreate the historic Black Tuesday, the day in which then opposition leader Celinda Pinling famously threw the mace out of a window.
An attempt to reenact something much very sacred in our history. What happened up here today was theatrics, and it's very unfortunate.
Heavily guarded by members of the top brass, Eyewitness News made attempts to get both Prime Minister Philip Davis and Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper's reactions on this morning's events as they exited the upper chamber. This as protesters on the outside called for change.
Prime Minister Davis, what's your take on everything that transpired today in the House?
Mr. Davis?
Just say about the
Deputy Leader, what's your take on everything that transpired now?
No comment.
Senator Michael Alcides shook his head as he criticized the opposition, calling their actions simply orchestrated and distractions from the work of the parliament.
Trying to grab headlines. The speaker never said she would refuse Mr. Pintard's request to speak. She said she would entertain it following the communication by ministers, which is proper and in order. Obviously, they wanted to create a ruckus, and they did.
From Michael MP Keith Bell, Centerville MP Jomo Campbell, Central and South Eleuthera MP, West End and Bimini MP Kingsley Smith had this to say as they filed out of the lower chamber.
God is good, His mercy endureth forever.
Sad. Trying to stir up the emotion of the Bahamian people for their own political expediency.
Now, Janae, I made attempts to speak with other members of the governing party. However, I was unsuccessful. Live here outside of the office of the Prime Minister, Laurentia Smith. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much, Laurentia. Meantime, Patricia DeVoe, the House Speaker, addressing parliamentarians following that chaos that erupted in Parliament after the St. Barnabas MP, Shannon Cartwright, threw the mace, outside of the window of the House of Assembly. She cried shame on the act and called it a dark day in politics. Now, the Speaker also claiming that she was, quote, assaulted. In a recent live address, the Prime Minister also revealed that the Sergeant of Arms is home for 5 days as a result of injuries, and the Deputy Speaker, Sylvanus Petty, is now in hospital overnight suffering from a concussion.
In this political arena that we call politics, for the first time in my life, when I took the oath of office, I felt challenged, and I was in fear for my life. I will review the tapes, and I will apprise the country later of my findings. But during today's event, I was assaulted, I was almost hit. Thank God for a glass of water in front of me. The Honorable Deputy Speaker was given a blow to the head and has to go to hospital. And we have a police officer with terrible damage to his leg. This is Parliament. This is where we come. We were elected to come to take care of the citizens of this country. This is not a political arena. This is Parliament. And this Speaker, I'm strong. I will uphold the rights of the Bahamian people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Well, with tensions flaring in and outside of Parliament today, many members of the public we spoke to today say that election season is looming. Scores of Bahamians gathered in front of Parliament. Our Delano Roker has reaction from today's events.
Chaos erupted outside of Parliament today as emotions ran high among Bahamians protesting outside the House of Assembly. The demonstration took a dramatic turn when opposition member Shannon Cartwright threw the historic mace, sparking an unprecedented scene inside and outside the chamber. The incident led to the removal of several opposition members from the House, drawing strong reactions from the viewers and protesters alike, with barricades eventually being pushed down.
I am for democracy. I don't like corruption. I don't care which party is in power. It happened to be the PLP now. They are corrupt.
That the Bahamas is going off course, and we have leaders in place that is not trying to stand up to the job.
I've observed what's been happening in this country for the past 4 years. I am upset, I'm dismayed, and I'm saddened.
The protest has left many Bahamians divided. While some expressed support for the actions of the opposition members, the symbolic act of tossing the mace drew mixed reaction from onlookers.
What just happened was democracy. Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright threw the mace out of the House in an historic move after being blocked by the Speaker for the second time.
What message are we sending to the youth of the country about decorum and law and order?
People are upset. So things are going to happen, whether it look professional or not. So people just trying to express how they feel.
Adding to the drama, Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander has tenured his resignation, a move that some believe signals accountability in the wake of recent controversies.
People want transparency, they want to know what's going on, and somebody has to be held accountable.
With emotions running high and calls for accountability mounting, Bahamians are left to grapple with the fallout from today's extraordinary events. How the government and opposition respond in the coming days will be critical in sharing the nation's path forward. Delana Roker, Eyewitness News.
Well, that U.S. court indictment of 11 Bahamians, including police and defense force officials, resulting now in the resignation of Police Commissioner Clayton Fernander, Prime Minister Philip Davis making the revelation in Parliament earlier today.
Madam Speaker, I met with the Commissioner of Police. I have received and accepted his resignation. The Commissioner of Police has served the force with distinction. I want to emphasize that there are no allegations of wrongdoing against him. But the Royal Bahamas Police Force needs change.
Well, following that revelation today, speculation grew on who would take the top post of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. But late this afternoon, Assistant Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles, who heads the Northern Division, was spotted at the Lyndon Pinling International Airport following a flight from Grand Bahama, where she's posted, and later arriving at the office of the Prime Minister alongside now resigned Commissioner Clayton Fernander. Both of the top officers attended a meeting with Prime Minister Philip Davis and Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, also the Minister of National Security and Minister of Education, Glenys Hannah Martin. It is believed that both officers and cabinet ministers discussed the way forward for law enforcement. The Prime Minister, in a national address at 5 p.m. this afternoon, confirmed that Shanta Knowles is his recommendation to supersede Fernander. Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms at eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, government moving legislation that they say will bring some much needed accountability to the armed forces. We've got that story coming up. And later tonight, a history lesson on the object thrown outside of the House of Assembly today. We've got more on that right after this break.
This Christmas, stay connected through all the family traditions. Holidaying is unwrapping gadgets, gigs, and gift cards. Sign up for a $64.99 or higher postpaid plan and get a free smartphone. 3 gigs of bonus data for 3 months and a chance to win a $100 gift card. We've got you covered with the ultimate postpaid deals. For more postpaid offers, visit us online at bdcbahamas.com.
Sheets and back mat, there's a place I know. For shower curtains, comforters, and window curtains, only one place to go. Fixing your home or automotive, that's no fuss. We put a smile on your face, come and shop with us. For all you need and more, shop at AID for Christmas.
With festive buckets starting at just $20. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
So, who's driving tonight then?
Who's the best driver?
Guess who's driving?
Guess who's driving?
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You'll be getting the cheapest tonight at Shell, $5.37. Esso coming in at $5.38. Rubis, $5.53. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, when the dust settled and parliamentarians resumed their proceedings in the House of Assembly today, the National Security Minister, Wayne Monroe, tabling legislation aimed at bringing about an independent commission to police the armed forces. Now, this follows allegations of drug trafficking by senior police and defense force officials.
They strike at the heart of law and order and the integrity of the very institutions that are supposed to protect us. Every instance of betrayal within our security forces undermines the trust of the public and threatens the safety of our citizens. This bill directly addresses these failings with an unrelenting focus on holding those who betray their positions accountable. Madam Speaker, the Independent Commission of Investigations Bill establishes an autonomous body empowered to investigate serious allegations of misconduct by members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the Bahamas Department of Corrections, the Bahamas Customs and Excise Department, the Bahamas Immigration Department, and public officials. This commission will have the authority to investigate corruption, abuse of authority, dereliction of duties, and other serious breaches with no exception or exemption.
The Security Minister also emphasizing that the legislation is only effective if it's enforced.
We must ensure that they are enforced with the same rigor and commitment with which they are written. Madam Speaker, the introduction of this bill will mark a turning point in our nation's history. It is a recognition that the status quo is unacceptable and that the Bahamian people demand change. But it is also an acknowledgement that we cannot do this alone. This legislation, Madam Speaker, belongs to the people, and their input on it is crucial to its success. I invite every Bahamian to participate in the public consultation process for this bill. Share your thoughts, your concerns, and your expectations. This is your opportunity to shape the future of law enforcement and public accountability in our country.
Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis asserting that his noticeable absence from the Opposition Free National Movement's demonstration earlier today does not take away from his support of all that unfolded. Dr. Minnis arriving at the lower chamber long after the FNM's demonstration was underway, which also saw the entire opposition thrown out of the lower chamber after its deputy leader Shannon Cartwright tossed the mace out of Parliament's window.
I was preparing my brief, my debate, and I was subsequently en route coming here to Parliament when I heard about all the commotion occurring. But we were en route coming. They're fighting for democracy. They're fighting for democracy, and I'm sure the press and the entire Bahamian populace would fight for democracy. The Bahamas, we want to wipe out corruption. We want to wipe out corruption. It's costing us too much.
Meanwhile, with Clayton Fernandez stepping down as police commissioner earlier today, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis says more heads need to roll.
The police commissioner has resigned. I think the Prime Minister can check the files and he would see why we had moved the police commissioner. But police commissioner should not be alone. The deputy commissioner we had moved also. So the deputy commissioner should likewise resign. And the Minister of National Security should likewise resign. I think he's placed in the wrong place. The Minister of National Security, who deals especially with criminals, should not have been placed at the Ministry of National Security.
Well, as many tuned into parliamentary proceedings today and witnessed the St. Barnabas MP Shannon Cartwright removing the mace from its position, however, some have not grasped the significance to political history in Parliament. Parliamentary Clerk David Forbes explains that the mace symbolizes the authority of the Speaker of the House.
We never really found one portion of it, so it was repaired and put back together. And that's what you have now.
Can you confirm if there are any damages to this current mace?
I can't say so because I haven't examined it. So I don't know. But I know it's still able to work the way it has always worked. So it's not damaged, so it can't perform. It's sitting there now. But I haven't examined it to see if there's any bumps and bruises to it.
And if someone is damaged the mace, can they be charged?
Absolutely. There's no offense that is on the book for damaging the property or the instruments of the institution by anybody. Once that damage is deliberate or reckless, then of course you could be charged with a criminal offense.
Meantime, the first female speaker elected to serve as Speaker of the House of Assembly, Italia Johnson, also weighing in on today's events. She argued that it was a true representation of the power of the people and standing in full support of the actions of the St. Barnabas MP.
I think it was excellent. Whenever the people have an opportunity to express themselves, it is really for them that we work. And a particular note at this time, I want Bahamians, whatever your philosophy or your political affiliation, we are here working for the future of the children of this country, not for ourselves. I was so extremely happy because then it forces the people to go back and read up on the reason behind something like that happening. The absolute disgust and finality of the people with the level of government that is being executed in this country. And I applaud him.
So do you support his actions?
Oh, absolutely.
Responding to the uproar outside of the chamber today, the executive director of the Organization for Responsible Governance, Matt Albury, speaking to Eyewitness News about bettering the Bahamas and what would be in the best interest of the Bahamian people moving forward.
So I think from ORG's perspective, although today obviously was very exciting events, not necessarily reflective of the kind of governance that leads to long-term change. When we talk about responsible governance, we know that it requires everybody's participation. So divisive efforts and places where we see groups are not working collaboratively, they take us down a road that doesn't necessarily lead to the change. We see the critical value for not only, the issues we're facing are essentially ones that are not going to easily be solved by a day's activities or a political back and forth. It's going to require both political sides working in tandem with citizens, with the private sector, with civil society to come up with solutions that reflect the interests and the input of all. Looking at how we move forward from today, it really requires us to put every bit of energy and every bit of focus on bringing those ideas back. So as we talk to citizens, we hope that they don't see this as a definitive example of what effective governance is and recognize that they have a role, that it's not about sit back and watch what happens, but how do we all get involved to sort these things.
Well, with Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando handing in his resignation, Aubrey says that it's just the first step in rooting out corruption in the country.
So I think from org's perspective, although today position has been that and we've been talking about the systems and the opportunities to reduce the impact of corruption and build integrity in governance for a long time. And so when we see solutions that come out of a circumstance or a situation, they also aren't necessarily the ones that are going to lead to long-term change. They might be, steps towards it, but we need to commit as a whole of society to how we move forward from this, how we change a culture that prides folks who are following what they're supposed to do, who are doing the right thing even when they're not being watched. So as we take an understanding of our circumstance, we also need to say, hey, what are the other things that need to happen? How do we prioritize things like freedom of information and an Integrity Commission Act, and make sure that the ombudsman and election financing and public disclosure laws are put in place, not just for the police, but across all parts of government, because that builds public trust and that builds public participation.
Well, on to some other news tonight. The senior vice president of Bahamas, Robert Sandy Sands, is stepping away from his role as president of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association. Sands has had a career in the tourism industry spanning more than 50 years. He says he's been grateful to see the evolution of the Bahamian tourism product through its challenges and opportunities.
Been in the industry over 52 years. So I've seen the complete renaissance of tourism and the changing dynamics of this industry since the early 1970s. And we have made progress, but we've made some steps backwards. There's some things that we still continue to have to improve, but by and large, we've come a long way from the sleepy tourism villages that we used to be in the past. The issues that confront us are different than those that existed years gone by. We have increased competition from all around the world. We have a changing dynamic of our workforce and their expectations in the workplace. We have a changing dynamic of our guests who have a different expectation. So it's never business as usual. And as of the word I use today, pivot, we must always be able to pivot to satisfy those needs of our customers and our internal associates as well. Yes, sir.
Sands will be succeeded by Jackson Weish, the Vice President and General Manager of the Royal Towers at Atlantis. Weish, a seasoned tourism industry professional, highlighted the importance of fostering collaboration, enhancing the tourism product, and building on the legacy of excellence established within the organization.
In honor, the BHTA is an organization of advocacy insofar as all matters generally relating to tourism. You'll be aware of the fact that certainly tourism underpins everything that we do here economically. The representatives of the BHTA represent all of the large, small, and all contributors to what we call this tourism pie. So it's an honor to be a part of an organization that in the first instance advocates for, addresses, and certainly seeks collaborative efforts across all sectors of our tourism industry to just make sure that things are really moving along as they should. So again, it's an honor, and certainly there is a rich legacy of leadership in the organization and a real keen focus on ensuring that tourism product issues that may impact it and enhancements are all encompassing, and really that we continue to focus on those things. So it's an honor for me to be in that position, and again to really carry on this rich legacy of really just being at the forefront, working across across all sectors in terms of making sense of this thing called tourism.
Back to news from the political arena tonight. Following parliamentary proceedings today, the Free National Movement announced a special council meeting taking place at this hour at the FNM headquarters in light of the turmoil that occurred in and outside of Parliament. Arlington Ritchie Jr. standing by live tonight on location with the latest. Linton?
Good evening, Janaea. That's right. I'm live outside of the Free National Movement headquarters, where a special council meeting was called tonight by a leader of the party, Michael Pintard, following those chaotic turn of events that went on in the lower chamber of the House of Assembly this morning. That also carried on to outside on Bay Street, where we saw numerous police officers and party members and also supporters of the Free National Movement stand beside their members of parliament following those chaotic turn of events. Now, what took place in the House of Assembly this afternoon was not seen since the mid-1960s, when Deputy Leader of the Free National Movement, Shannon Don Cartwright, rose up from his seat and walked over to the Speaker's chair, grabbed the House of Assembly mace and threw it out of the window. Now I'm joined live with Deputy Leader Shannon Don Cartwright. Mr. Cartwright, walk me through what empowered you to get up out of your seat and did what you did this morning.
Listen, over the past years and years, of Assembly consistently the opposition a very important intervention on a major national issue. Government to hide to the opposition. This was a moment to say that the power is not within the government, the power belongs to the people. That symbolizes today.
National and today was political tactic that you remake. Prime Minister, through your thoughts on his comments.
Well, we are experiencing some technical difficulties. We will try to get Linton back with the Deputy Leader of the Free National Movement, Shannon Don Cartwright, after this quick break. But tickets for the greatest show on earth, they went on sale today. Tickets for the Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade went live on a Live's event app. Officials reporting a smooth process, but warned that those popular seats on Rawson Square, they are filling up fast. The Boxing Day Parade begins at 9 a.m. Christmas Day. Don't forget, that's December 25th, and the New Year's Day Parade beginning at 2 a.m. For more details on this, log on to our website, ewnews.com. Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, we're going to make a second attempt to get back down at the F&M headquarters to clear up those technical issues, but the Governor General continues an annual tradition just in time for the holidays. We've got the details on that. But first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
We understand your business needs. We remain dedicated to giving you the best experiences for your business's growth and development. Reliable internet speeds for your customers' stress-free online shopping experience. Secure landline connections so your customers and team can always reach you. Exclusive add-ons like website and online store to put your brand on the map as the best. Find more at business.btcbahamas.com.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance management. Nobody does it better.
It's a different kind of Christmas, but everything is here to bring a smile upon your face. That's what the season brings now. See, Christmas time is the time for your family and friends. Come and shop with us and find everything that you need. Deck out your homes with all we have in store, bringing joy and so much more. At Shop Smarty, at Shop Smart. Shop Smart, oh, everything is here at Shop Smart. At Shop Smart, at Shop Smart, oh, everything is here.
For every shape-up, after-school activity, unplanned home repair, and other day-to-day spending, there's SandDollar. SandDollar is a convenient way to send and receive money instantly. SandDollar is easy to use. It's safe and secure. Just like physical cash, SandDollar is issued by the Central Bank of the Bahamas. And best of all, there are no fees for individuals to send or receive funds. Download a SandDollar-enabled digital wallet and enjoy the benefits of the digital Bahamian dollar. Spend it locally. Transfer it to and from a local bank account, or convert it to and from physical cash. Learn more at www.sanddollar.bs.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. As promised, we are back at the Free National Movement headquarters. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. standing by live. We did have some technical issues earlier, but I believe Linton is ready tonight with more details on this special called meeting that was held following the chaos that erupted at Parliament today. Linton standing by live with the MP for St. Barnabas, Shannon Don Cartwright, who threw that mace from the parliamentary window today. Linton?
Good evening, Janea. That's right. I'm live here outside of the Free National headquarters on Mackey Street, where a special council meeting went underway some moments ago that was called by party leader Mr. Michael Pintard following the turn of events that went on in the lower chamber this morning. Now, for those of you who may need a recap, this morning during parliamentary proceedings, Deputy Leader of the Free National Movement, Mr. Shannon Don Cartwright, rose up from his seat, went over to the Speaker's table, grabbed the mace and threw it out the window, something that we did not see since the 1960s that was done by the country's first Prime Minister. Now I'm joined live outside of the Free National Movement headquarters with the party leader, Mr. Michael Pintard, and Deputy Party Leader, Mr. Shannon Don Cartwright. Mr. Cartwright, let's start with you. Walk me through what went through your mind when you rose up from your seat and you went over and you did what you did.
Listen, let's start with the backdrop. For the last 3 years, the Bahamian people have watched this government fail them on all major issues in their lives. We have a crime crisis, we have a cost of living crisis, and there's no doubt that we have a leadership crisis in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. What we've consistently seen in Parliament, that the leader of the opposition, on a number of occasions, have gotten to his feet to speak, whether it's on issues of national importance or at different interventions during a debate, where the Speaker and the government did everything they possibly could to prevent that from happening. On the heels of last week, where the leader of the opposition, the Honourable Michael Pintard, made a request to speak, to address the Parliament, as did the Prime Minister, on that prevailing issue of the indictment. The Speaker hid behind the rules, and the latitude and the discretion that was continuously given to the government was not given to the Honourable Member. And so today, in another version of trying to get the same request done, after meeting all of the checks on the rules, the Speaker still vacillated and gave no commitment. Now, what we said today is that enough is enough, that we're not going to idly sit by while the government suppresses the voices, not our voices, you know, the voices of the Bahamian people. You're not suppressing the voice of the Honorable Michael Pintard or Shannon Dawn Cartwright or any other member of our caucus. We have a right to speak for Bahamians today. And every aspect of what happened today was a response to that.
Final question for me, and then we'll move on to the party's leader. Mr. Cartwright, you know, what message were you hoping to send to the Bahamian people on behalf of the party following your actions?
Listen, it wasn't a message that I was trying to send or we were trying to send. It was a message that the Bahamian people, through us advocating for them and agitating for them, wants to say to this government that we want this government to be transparent, to answer the questions, to deal with all of the major issues that are affecting the lives of the Bahamian people. Because if you ask the average Bahamian today if their lives are better than it was 3 years ago, they will tell you absolutely not.
Thank you very much. Moving on and switching gears a bit, speaking to the party's leader, Mr. Michael Pintard. Mr. Pintard, we know that as early as Sunday, you would have called for a commission of inquiry. You would have also called, you know, saying that if the commissioner does not grab a hold of his force, he should resign. Today, we saw what took place. The Prime Minister announced that the former Commissioner of Police, Kate Fernanda, resigned from the force. Walk me through, you know, your thoughts with all of this.
Well, on Sunday, we said he should resign. That ship had sailed for us by Sunday, and that the Minister of National Security should also resign. Both of them have presided over the police force where there have been numerous very serious scandals that brought disrepute to the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and it's done by only a small group of officers. The vast majority of officers on the police force are law-abiding. They sacrifice leaving their families to help the rest of us. It is unfair that we do not have leadership in place that will purge the police force to make sure that the vast majority of the persons who are working on our behalf, their reputations are protected. And so the minister and the commissioner failed to discharge their responsibilities. Murder has gone up dramatically on their watch. And that is one of the primary responsibilities of a minister as well as a commissioner, to work in tandem with stakeholders in order to address those issues that would lead to violence in general, murder in particular. They have failed.
Final two questions from me, Mr. Pintard. With the new appointment of the commissioner, are you hoping that this will turn a new page for the Royal Bahamas Police Force? And we also heard that Prime Minister Davis said during his national address that he had a meeting with you about the appointment. How did that meeting go?
We had a civil meeting. The Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister agreed that there's a need for consultation. They had started the process. I also wanted an opportunity to speak with colleagues, to speak with persons who had worked with her in the past. My brief interaction with her in Grand Bahama has been pleasant. She appears to understand her job in that capacity, but we don't know her beyond that. And he agreed that tomorrow morning he would then receive the correspondence on what our position is. Clearly his word doesn't mean very much because he went ahead and made the decision literally within a couple of hours afterwards. Secondly, we heard the address by the Prime Minister, and we were disappointed that he was dishonest in the address that he gave to the public at 5:30. The Prime Minister knows well, if he took the time to look at the video, to see that the injury that was caused to the Deputy Speaker and the injury that was caused to the officer, both of whom the Free National Movement have a wonderful relationship with in the House of Assembly. And we were very disappointed that he sought to characterize that as something the opposition was responsible for. And that level of dishonesty should not come from the CEO of the country. We are pulling for the new commissioner, and it is our hope that she would be effective in the discharge of her duty, and she would create a new culture on the police force.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pintard. Now, Janaea, you would have just heard from the party leader who noted that meeting with the Prime Minister, Philip Davis, was civil. He noted that they are expected to deliver a contribution to him tomorrow on the appointment. He also clarified the Prime Minister's comments, noting that those injuries from the Deputy Speaker and the Sergeant of Arms were not at the hands of the opposition. For now, Linton Ritchie Jr. reporting live outside of the Free National Movement headquarters, sending it back to you at the desk, Janaea.
Thanks so much for that report, Linton. Well, the Speaker of the House has responded earlier today, noting that the decision was made to delay the Leader of the Opposition from speaking until another communication was had. However, those events turned abruptly today. Well, still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurencia Smith has your latest check on sports right after this break.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Bahamas, get ready for an unforgettable night this holiday season. On Saturday, December 28th, we're bringing the love back to the city. It's a night of rhythm and blues featuring the one and only K. Michelle.
What up, y'all? It's your girl K. Michelle. December the 28th, I'm going to be in the Bahamas. I'm coming to sing some songs. Yes, Bahamas, K. Michelle.
We gonna light some candles tonight. Very special.
Life Jennings.
Yo, what's up? Nassau, Bahamas. Life Jennings is performing December 28th.
And Jay Holiday.
Yo, what's good, man? It's me, your boy Jay Holiday. I'm going to be performing live on Saturday, December 28th.
At the Nassau Cruise Port. Early bird tickets are now available online. Powered by 103.5 The Beat. Nightlife Entertainment. Alpha Sound Promotions. Free Bands Entertainment. 242 Party and Playhouse.
See y'all, Bahamas, December 28th.
I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume isn't loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. You feel like velvet rubbing over my skin, and when your
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Topping sports tonight from the basketball court. Big man DeAndre Ayton is steadily returning to form after a 2-week absence due to a finger injury sustained last month. In a recent game against the Dallas Mavericks, Ayton posted 18 points and 7 rebounds in the Portland Trail Blazers' 137-131 loss against Dallas. On the season, the big man is averaging 14.7 points and 10.3 rebounds per game. After missing the Blazers' previous 7 games due to a deep contusion in his right index finger, the center made his return to the starting lineup just last week. In his first game back, he delivered 16 points and 12 rebounds in a 121-114 loss to the Indiana Pacers. He then followed up that performance by scoring 26 points and grabbing 9 rebounds to lead the Portland Trail Blazers to a 115-106 victory over the Sacramento Kings.
In the second half,
trusting each other all night. Coach been challenging us to rebound the ball, man. I think we took some pride into that. I think tonight is where we try to earn our respect on the defensive end, just making sure we close out possessions, and that was the main objective for tonight, is making sure we close out our possessions and get out and run, because nobody's stopping us when we're running. Hats off to my backcourt, really, getting to the paint areas and getting me going early as well, and just being confident in their shots and knocking shots down for us as well and giving us momentum.
The University of the Bahamas men's soccer team rebounding from a recent loss with a dominating 4-1 victory over the Western Warrior Gladiators in the Bahamas Football Association. The team captain expressed his confidence and positivity about the team's performance.
Kudos to the boys. We performed well. We had an outfield player who stepped up as a goalkeeper today and played tremendously well.
Working hard and practice every day. So it's a good feeling to actually execute the goals today. Trying to get some more goals, get myself involved.
Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Laurentia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Huh? $10 deal. Available only at Marco's Southwest, Prince Charles, Village Road, and Robinson Road. Man, let me see what this about. I'll take 20 of those, please. Hey, you good? Yeah, bro, Marcos, get this new deal. Get yourself a large one-topping pizza for only $10. $10? Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Hey, I need 30 of them $10 carry-out pizza deal, please.
Bigger at Island Luck, so don't let your daily inspirations go to waste. Win now with our selection of lottery games. Play now at islandluck.com or at any of our locations. What's your inspiration?
Get ready to win Lucky Bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, I will be hard. What here?
I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the Lucky Taxi. You walk in the taxi, you got to do the Lucky Walk, bro.
Oh, hey. Thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You leave it $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Bang along.
Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island Luck Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Luck Lucky Taxi.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news this Wednesday, but coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, discussion continues on all of today's events. That's coming up and beyond the headlines starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Let the competition begin.
The Ethan S. Bain Environmental Health Foundation, in conjunction with the Ministry of Education, gears up for the first environmental speech competition for public junior high school students in New Providence. Founder Jacqueline Bain gives us the details.
It's being held at CC Sweeting on November the 6th at 6 p.m. And we will have distinguished guests from the Ministry of Education, parents, and the 10 finalists. And I think it's very fitting because we need to raise the awareness on the environmental issues in our country. It's very essential. We have 8 junior high schools participating with 24 participants. We have a preliminary round where the elimination takes place, and on the date of the 6th of November is when the 10 finalists will be presenting.
The foundation's director, Anthony Roberts, expands more on the purpose of the competition.
The purpose of the debate is to put out in the high schools how important it is, or how important the environment is, and how it is an integral, to use that word again, part of our existence. When we do debates of this sort, we have young people coming up, seeing it, and again, bottling or shaping it in a way that other young people can understand what is happening.
I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Let the competition begin. The Ethan S. Bain Environmental Health Foundation, in conjunction with the Ministry of Education, gears up for the first environmental speech competition for public junior high school students in New Providence. Founder Jacqueline Bain gives us the details.
It's being held at CC Sweeting on November the 6th at 6 p.m. And we will have distinguished guests from the Ministry of Education, parents, and the 10 finalists. I think it's very fitting because we need to raise the awareness on the environmental issues in our country. It's very essential. We have 8 junior high schools participating with 24 participants. We have a preliminary round where the elimination takes place, and on the date of the 6th of November is when the finalists, the 10 finalists, will be presenting.
The foundation's director, Anthony Roberts, expands more on the purpose of the competition.
The purpose of the debate is to put out in the high schools how important it is, or how important the environment is, and how it is an integral, to use that word again, part of our existence. When we do debates of this sort, we have young people coming up, seeing it, and again, bottling or shaping it in a way that other young people can understand what is happening.
I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
That's what you want. say. Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him!
Eyewitness News. Our country is in shambles. They would rather be aggressive with us than be aggressive against criminals.
What happened up here today was theatrics.
Disgraceful.
Powerful images from outside Parliament today, as well as in the House of Assembly, of the Free National Movement's historic protest that saw the mace being thrown out the window, and then it all unfolded. Coming up tonight, the Bahamas and the Royal Bahamas Police Force about to make history in a stunning turn of events. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez has resigned, and ACP Shanta Knowles appointed the nation's incoming Commissioner of Police. We take a look at what it all means, and will this historic move give the Royal Bahamas Police Force the fresh start it needs? Also tonight, in a scene reminiscent of 1965, a pivotal moment in Bahamian parliamentary history, the House of Assembly was thrown into turmoil today when the historic mace was hurled outside during a heated session. The incident escalated tensions, prompting strong police response and reportedly a number of injuries. This unrest followed a protest that spiraled out of control on the outside of the halls of Parliament. And now many of you watched and shared your opinions in voice notes that were shared widely. Here are some of your thoughts.
Shanique Miller, I really have to ask you a question. I really have a concern what I saw today in Parliament. This ain't Milo piddling them time. The dumb man throw the vase out the window and they still serve underneath the Queen, underneath the King? Shanique Miller, this is not the time to be rebels. No. Shannon Cartwright was wrong what he did today. Embarrass the Bahamas, the Common Bahamas. We're going through enough, Shanique Miller. What's going on with the F&M? Are they losing their marbles? Well, surely they did today because they surely did not impress the people today. We are suffering and they are showing their weaknesses.
Boy, Shannon Dawn, you really are a flippin' disappointment. I so embarrassed of you. Jesus Christopher Columbus, what a anyway. You know something? Let me leave that.
Opinions all over the place tonight, and of course today on what took place. Coming up in a minute, you will see Travis Robinson, the coordinator of today's protest, and Gadville McDonald join me. So, regardless of how today's protest landed with the public, here's the reality in the Bahamas right now. Bahamians are embarrassed about a series of major scandals in the Royal Bahamas Police Force that have landed the nation in hot water internationally and renewed skepticism locally. They are on edge about the levels of crime. Then there is the issue of the cost of living. Bahamians are warning the PLP not to take some of their views about today's events as approval of this administration's performance. Many people who sent messages and voice notes around say they now want Prime Minister Davis to begin to really step up as leader, to make the tough decisions that are going to make a difference in the lives of everyday Bahamians. One of them, easing the impact of inflation. And even some decisions at the cabinet level, if necessary, that would show that the interests of Bahamians are priority. As one of the ladies just said, Bahamians are having a tough time. Meanwhile, tonight, Deputy Speaker of the House, Sylvanus Petty, suffered a concussion in the struggle to take back the mace today and is in hospital under observation tonight. You see him there headed into Doctor's Hospital this afternoon. We will hopefully get an update on his condition, but according to reports, he suffered a concussion and is in hospital tonight for observation. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. It's great to have you along this evening. I'm Shanique Miller. Well, it was a scene reminiscent of 1965 when Sir Lyndon Pindling tossed the mace out of the window of the House. Today, the House of Assembly was thrown into turmoil when the historic mace was hurled outside during a heated session. The incident escalated. Of course, you saw the images a moment ago. While that was happening, there was a protest outside where F&M supporters gathered en masse to call attention to what they say is an administration that is out of touch. Well, this evening, we're going to get right to it. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, the coordinator of today's events, or one of the coordinators, Travis Robinson and Gadville McDonald. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanique, and thank you for having us.
Yes,
it's good to be here.
It's good to have you both. Good to have you both. Listen, a lot to get to, a lot's happening. You heard the mixed reviews of Bahamians, but let's just go right to what drove that Glenna Santa Martin said theatrics, but drove that response today by the official opposition Free National Movement. Where does the nation stand right now that something like that had to take place this morning?
Well, I think we are at an inflection point. Enough is enough. And I think the leader of the opposition, as well as the opposition itself, made the point that enough is enough. Leadership is about stewardship, and you're accountable. When these things happen, you don't sort of wrap them in secrecy. What we do is we come forward and we be transparent, and we answer questions that are being asked, and we allow the questions to be asked. There's no way that the opposition should be stifled in any way. This is the time for them to ask the tough questions on behalf of the Bahamian people, and get the answers from the Bahamian people. And we believe that they were not getting the answers, was not even being allowed to ask the question. And that creates a problem. Enough is enough. And so when these things happen, you have to take extreme measures, because at the end of the day, this country is owned by every one of us, and no one owns it. And so we all are accountable.
Travis, Gadville spoke of what took place in the House and drove that effort. Outside, though, people were protesting, basically saying the same thing, enough is enough. Describe the temperament of the Bahamian people right now.
Shanique, thank you for having me. As you mentioned, myself along with Chanel and the entire leadership caucus of the Free National Movement basically organized today's protest. But the reality is that Bahamians are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so what you saw today did not happen overnight. What you saw today was an escalation from the speaker continuously muzzling the opposition. Every time the leader comes to ask questions to the government, the speaker shuts them down. When the leader tried to speak on a national issue, the speaker shuts them down. So this is not something that happened out of thin air. This is overnight frustration. We are saying that as the opposition, we are called to hold the government feet to the fire, and we were simply doing our jobs on behalf of the Bahamian people, holding the government feet to the fire today. People are frustrated. They can't pay their bills. Rent is overburdened, escalating astronomically. Crime is out of control. People can't raise their head above water to see what's going to happen for their children the next day, sending their children to school, just giving them a meal when before they go to bed. Real life challenges is what you're seeing today, because it could have simply just been the 7 members of parliament. No, but hundreds of Bahamians, not just F&Ms, Bahamians at large, thought it necessary to be there today to send a message to this failed PLP government that enough is enough, and today we stand for our children and our children's future.
What were some of the things? We saw the images. It was quite emotive and emotional to see those images and to see the various clippings coming from downtown today. Listen, where do people stand when it comes to, as you said, the feeling by the official opposition is that its voice is muzzled in Parliament. The feeling on the ground is that, listen, more needs to be done to address the cost of living. More needs to be done to repair our reputation internationally, particularly with the Royal Bahamas Police Force. What were some of the things that people were saying today?
People were just overly frustrated, Shanique. It lent itself to many things. Some things I mentioned, similar to their rent, cost of rent, BPL bills that are killing them, can't find food to eat, and the list goes on. I think today there was so much built up frustration and pent up frustration that some persons didn't have words enough to express the anger and the rage that they were going through. But the fact that we had a protest today, the fact that they had some way of expressing that anger and letting it out is what we saw today. And so again, Tunique, this is what happens when a government believes that they are entitled to govern this country. I said to someone today, Lyndon Pillin didn't die and leave the Bahamas to the PLP. This is the Bahamas for all Bahamians. And so when you believe that you could just jump on a plane, fly around off of our money, and then throw us the crumbs, it's not going to happen. We have seen this for 3 years. The Bahamian people are saying that we're standing, we're taking a stand against this type of government. We have vigilante justice that is running rogue through our country. People feel like they're not getting the justice that they need from the system. Instead, they pass legislations and enact the type of laws that will be able to help people get the justice they need. We're not seeing that.
Yes, Garville, I know you wanted to jump in. Travis says, listen, that the overall temperament, not just with F&Ms, but with the average person on the street is enough. More needs to be done to address where the Bahamian people stand right now.
Oh, absolutely. A culture of corruption does not just happen. It's encouraged, right? And it's encouraged from the top all the way down.
And the top
being from the Prime Minister. Oh. We have a responsibility. He has a responsibility to make sure that systems are in place, that a culture of corruption does not exist. And if it exists, he has a responsibility to stomp it out.
Well, the commissioner, the outgoing commissioner of police mentioned that very term on Sunday evening during his national statement. Where do you think the Prime Minister needs to begin in addressing this culture of corruption?
Well, I'm sure that he's been getting a lot of reports in terms of what was happening across the length and breadth of the police force. All right. He appointed the commissioner of police. It was his responsibility. He appointed the Minister of National Security. He appointed them. That's his responsibility. So they ought to be accountable to him. And if they are not, then all of them should be fired. All right. So there should be no surprise on this. And you know what is so amazing about this? We don't want to hear about you now at this point talking about what you're going to do. You should be accounting to the Bahamian people as it relates to what you did, right, to prevent this, right? And this is what creates frustration, because you're not talking about what you've been doing. And because from our perspective, we believe that you haven't done enough. We believe that you've run a slack ship, right, that allowed corruption to emerge. So you're accountable. You are the leader.
Let's quickly get in, because I want to make sure that I understand the official position of the opposition. Leader Michael Pintard said it a short while ago on the newscast that, listen, the F&M isn't going to go full out and give the stamp of approval for Shanta Knowles, that they basically want to vet her. What is can you express the F&M's position, official position on that?
Well, I think the leader expressed it. I mean, the leader said she needs to be vetted. She needs to be vetted, because one of the things what we want to make sure. Is there a lack of trust, or what is it that is being? No, I believe there's a lack of trust in the person who's making the decision at the top. And so what happens is, I mean, listen, you don't own this. You're a steward, and stewardship means that you're accountable. You are accountable, and so let's partner up to make sure that we don't get in this place again. Let's do the right checks. Let's be accountable on the front end. So on the back end, we don't end up in this place again. Let's do what we need to do. Let's be transparent.
Question: was today an over dramatization of wanting to send the government a message and make a point? I ask that because persons are saying, with the level of lawlessness in the nation, the level of crime, the level of corruption in many places, the last thing that the Bahamian people need, and we have so many MPs have been before the court. One was recently vindicated, another is still before the court. I think he was hauled out of the house today with others. But people are saying the last thing they need is to actually see the laws in the place where laws should be most observed being violated by the opposition. How do you respond to that? I mean, like for example, yes, address where the Bahamian people are, address the fact that the Bahamian people need to see more being done, but how?
Yeah, well, truth be told, Shanique, the laws in context or in quotations, was not simply seen to be broken today with today's event. This was a chain of events from the speaker, none other than the speaker herself, right? When you talk about having a fair and balanced and a bipartisan parliament, it is not right that the government continues to speak in parliament and while the opposition remains silent by none other than the speaker. That's not how the Parliament of the Bahamas was created. From 1729, some 295 years ago, men and women from all walks of life fought for a democracy where both parties, opposition and government, have a say in the future and inside legislations of this country.
Well, I'll tell you, if we want to see change, it has to be across the board because, you know, I remember Talia Johnson being given such criticisms. But let me ask this before, Gadil, for you to have the last comment here. Let's just talk about the culture of corruption. Bahamians don't disagree with that at all. Again, outgoing Commissioner Fernanda referred to it just on Sunday evening. Let's just talk about the fact that we have one of your members of parliament standing before the court right now trying to defend himself and his reputation and how he managed the people's business at one of the government entities. Where does this culture of corruption need to be addressed and stopped across the board? F&M, PLP, whomever, Bahamians.
Well, we're saying enough is enough, period, across the board. Enough is enough, whether you're F&M or whether you're PLP. Listen, you don't own this country. We all are accountable. I don't care what colors you're wearing. We are accountable, and we are accountable to the Bahamian people. So let's be accountable. Let's put the systems in place. Stop wrapping these stuff in secrecy, right? Account and be blatant. Put the laws in place where we don't get here again. Let's be serious about developing our country at a place where we all can see democracy on display. Michael Pintar and the leaders and the members of the opposition has demonstrated great level of cooperation over the years. They've demonstrated it. They have been pleading with them. Listen, we want you to win. We want you to work. We want you to make sure that you're doing these things that the Bahamian people requires you to do. We are your partners. They have demonstrated it. But so if they didn't listen to them, they tried to muzzle them. It reaches a point whereby we have to say enough is enough. You don't own this country. You alone are not the keepers of democracy. We all are. And so when you try to muzzle me, I'm gonna push back on behalf of the Bahamian people. And we showed up downtown today to push back, to say enough is enough. We all own this country, and we are calling for transparency, and we are calling for accountability.
I thank you very much, gentlemen. Gadville McDonald, Travis Robinson, thank you both very, very much. Both gentlemen here speaking on today really was a pivotal moment and a line in the sand, largely for Bahamians to send a message that, listen, be about the Bahamas' business and in the right way. But listen, we have the Office of the Prime Minister here. We're going to get a response to what was said a moment ago, and also talk about the appointment, the first female commissioner of police that's in the pipeline. We're going to talk about that and much more right after this. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're back in a moment.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Bahamas, get ready for an unforgettable night this holiday season. On Saturday, December 28th, we're bringing the love back to the city. It's a night of rhythm and blues featuring the one and only K. Michelle.
What up, y'all? It's your girl K. Michelle. December the 28th, I'm going to be in the Bahamas. I'm coming to sing some songs. Yes, Bahamas, K. Michelle. We gonna light some candles tonight. Very special.
Life Jennings.
Yo, what's up? Nassau, Bahamas. Life Jennings is performing December 28th.
And Jay Holiday.
Yo, what's good, man? It's me, your boy Jay Holiday. I'm going to be performing live on Saturday, December 28th.
At the Nassau Cruise Port. Early bird tickets are now available online. Powered by 103.5 The Beat. Nightlife Entertainment. Alpha Sound Promotions. Free Bands Entertainment. 242 Party and Playhouse.
See y'all, Bahamas, December 28th.
For carpets, bed sheets, and bath mats, there's a place I know. For shower curtains, comforters, and window curtains, only one place to go. Fixing your home or automotive, there's no fuss. We put a smile on your face, come and shop with us. For all you need and more, shop at AID for Christmas.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Well, at the top of the show, you heard me talk about the fact that the Bahamas and the Royal Bahamas Police Force is on the verge of making history. Shanta Knowles has been appointed as the incoming commissioner. Of course, that will be approved after some interviews, etc., as you heard the leader of the opposition say. However, Shanta Knowles has most recently been the assistant commissioner of police in charge of the Northern District, stationed in Grand Bahama. She is an Eleuthera native and also served as officer in charge of the island before her Northern District appointment. Today, Prime Minister Davis rolled out new legislation to create, for the first time, independent oversight of the police. The Prime Minister says this independent oversight can play an essential role in strengthening trust between the police, the communities they serve. Now, joining me this evening to talk about, in fact, listen, you all, listen, how about who is the greatest news organization right up and now? That's us. That's us getting Shanta Knowles, ACP, headed into, and there's Clayton Fernando, headed into the office of the Prime Minister. Yeah, we got that, we're just happy. There's an official photo of Shanta Knowles for those of you who perhaps aren't familiar with her. But listen, we're going to get into this right now because a lot to get to in this segment. Director of the Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latre Raming, joins me right now. Good evening to you, Latre. It's good to have you here.
Welcome back.
Yes, thank you. Yes. I know I've been off, and yes. Yeah. So thank you. It's good to see you. It's been a while. This move to appoint Shanta Knowles to help shift the force, a much-needed shift, will also help in bringing much-needed. Roll with me, y'all, please. Who's there sleeping? Much-needed change as the first female to fill the spot of Commissioner of Police. Let us just talk, Latre. Will Knowles, who is stepping into a whole, just a mess, really, and so much going on, will she be able to do the heavy lifting that will be required to get the job done?
No, absolutely. Good night, Bahamas. ACP Knowles, who's been recommended to become the country's next Commissioner of Police, have more than 30 years of experience on the force. She has 28 years and experience in investigative crimes. She's the first woman to be
CID.
So her head CID. She specialized in sex crimes. She specialized in rape. She specialized in violent crime and serious crimes. She was the first person in the Bahamas to secure the successful case in human trafficking in the Bahamas. She has extensive experience. She has a reputation of being no nonsense. Someone used an explicit and saying she doesn't anchor around. So, I mean, that's the kind of reputation she has. I think that...
also, she's known and gained a reputation
she has gained a reputation
on the force as a no-nonsense
person. I tell you what. And you know, when the question was asked, who was the best person for this time? And
a woman.
It had nothing to do with gender.
So this, because it
just happened to be that she was a woman, and I think that the Bahamas will see very soon that she is extremely qualified. She did a very good job in Eleuthera. She did a very good job for Abaco in Northern Bahamas, and she's going to make a fantastic commissioner of police.
Okay, I tell you, interesting times. Now, Latre is no secret. ACP Knowles will walk into the top spot having a lot on her plate instantly. Among them, the Michael Johnson case. Is the outgoing commissioner going to clear up that matter before she takes the chair?
I think the commissioner of police last week Sunday, and said that he intends to deal with the matter. But I think that the transition is something that will be communicated to the public. I also think it's important that this administration have all the confidence in Shanta's ability to lead the force to this era of reform. She has demonstrated over her time as in the force that she has an extensive record. I think that she can handle this moment. I think the Prime Minister made a very swift move. He was very impressed by her. I think that he moved very quickly to identify a successor and to make the recommendation to Governor General.
Now, the Free National Movement leader, Michael Pintard, says, listen, we don't quite know who Knowles is, and we're not going to just out the gate give her a stamp of approval. They want to carry out their own investigations of her and vet her as well. Your thoughts on the fact that they want to sort of take their time in making sure and ensuring she's the right woman for the job?
I think, the opposition have a right to their opinion. They play an essential role in our democracy. I was surprised that the leader of the opposition, despite her being in charge of the Northern Bahamas for a year now, wasn't able to accurately give an assessment to her. But I think that he will see, and I hope he give her the space of confidence that she will demonstrate her ability to lead the force at this time. So her resume speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. Most certainly, I think that she may be open to speaking to them before time. And so I think that the Prime Minister, the Constitution says he requires to consult the leader of the opposition, but he doesn't require the agreement of the opposition to move forward. I think that the force need a transitional leadership now, and he made it very clear.
Well, I'll tell you this. The nation needs her to succeed, and already there are many people who are applauding her promotion and obviously rooting for the best.
I think while she is the first woman in the force 184 years history, I think it's also important to recognize that she is the best person to serve at this time.
Yeah, because let's just talk about that for a second. This ain't trying to send no statement to say, we support the women, and this ain't that. This is business.
It's bigger than that. Mm-hmm. I think the challenges are too complex. I think that the reform, the mandate of reform is absolutely necessary. This is not blind tokenism. It's who is the best person to carry the force forward at this time.
When the Prime Minister announced that there will be an independent sort of legislation that ushers in independence for the police force, what does that mean exactly for the Bahamian people? Because people used to saying, the police force is one political...
This independent oversight that goes beyond the police force. It really speaks to all law enforcement agencies in the Bahamas. If the bill that is currently being consulted on publicly now will call for the ability of a civilian body to investigate all matters of misconduct, corruption. They'll have the power to subpoena, the power to recommend charges. So this
independent body.
This independent body. So, for example, this is going to be the first time in the history of Bahamas such an institution exists, and I think that it shows to the level of reform that Bahamas want. They want a system where police aren't investigated themselves. They want a system where there's broader oversight. And they want a system where there's broader oversight, not only for the police force, for all law enforcement agencies. Mm-hmm. We recognize that the issue of corruption is systemic, and you need to ensure that you improve these institutions. That's why we're going to go, Governor Bahamas is going to go beyond the inspectorate. The AG's office is finalizing
law?
No, that's not the law. But the commission, the Integrity Commission. Oh. And the Integrity Commission will call for further investigation across the sector.
So this is something even separate than the independent body?
Oh. No, independent body. So I think you're going to see a very sustained effort to deal with the issue over a period of time. The Governor of Bahamas is going to deal with this matter, particularly with the law enforcement agencies, and after that they'll go to the Integrity Commission.
Is this the Prime Minister showing that, listen, he is now standing up and standing strong and showing the Bahamian people exactly what they want to see, because they've been begging for, listen, Prime Minister Davis, let's get some things done, make some tough decisions.
I think the Prime Minister has been consistent on these matters. I think last week when he was in Nelson Assembly, he outlined what is required. He said that he will meet with the U.S. Charge of Affairs. He said that he'll meet with both forces. And in 1 week, we've seen the transition from one commissioner of police to a new commissioner of police. We've seen that the governor of the Bahamas has indicated by way of diplomatic note to the U.S. government to identify the high-ranking politician that they have placed in their indictment. So he's very serious about what he's laid out, and he's come back 1 week later to update the Bahamian people on what he's done so far.
Was it known already on Sunday evening when outgoing Commissioner Fernanda was making his speech that he would be resigning?
I don't know what happened behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so listen, Trey, let's move forward to what happened today outside Parliament and in Parliament. First of all, let's just start with the fact that, do you have any update on Sylvanus Petty's, the Deputy Speaker's position? It is said that he sustained injuries or hit to the head and therefore a mild concussion and is hospitalized.
So the latest update I've received from the Speaker of the House is that the doctors have made a decision to keep him overnight. So he remained hospitalized, and I think that they're going to run further tests on him. And so we'll have a further update in the morning.
Yeah. Now let's just talk about this message that was sent today. It is no secret. The mood in the country is one of disgust on various levels. Disgust with the fact that that Bahamians want various things addressed: the cost of living, the matter of the police, that the trust has been destroyed there, and just so many other things. Let us talk about what you think the government got from today's protest.
I think beyond the FLM protest, I think it was important to understand that it has not escaped this administration that the Bahamian people have the right to be frustrated about what they see in their police force. They have the right to be angry about the betrayal of trust by those who are sworn out to protect us. And so it has not escaped this administration that the government has to act and act quickly. We have to ensure that we build a kind of country that people have invested trust in their institutions, and we have to ensure that they have the kind of independent oversight that will call for an investigation. The Prime Minister will very soon make significant strides around the issue of cost of living.
Now, do you think the level in which today's events unfolded, particularly in Parliament, do you think it was an overreach? Do you think it was warranted, the level at which the Free National Movement went at it?
I think my opinion is, I think that I maintain the previous point of view that the opposition play a critical role in our democracy. I think that you could go about different ways to get the results you want. I understand that the leader of the opposition at the time wanted to make a presentation whilst the House was in the agenda of minister's statement. Usually you cover Parliament for a lot of time. Usually when there's member statement, only cabinet ministers will speak at the time. He didn't give the Speaker of the House opportunity to make a decision on ruling. But I think that I was in Parliament. I was able to see firsthand the orchestration between Adrian White going to opening the window way before Michael Pinta got up. I think that that's what they wanted to achieve today. Whether it satisfies the Bahamian people, I think that they will be the ultimate decision maker in months to come. But I believe that the Bahamian people requires a level of decency, a level of representation. I think that they want to see the kind of politics that demonstrate the kind of political maturity. They are rightfully angry about their police force. They are rightfully concerned about the growing cost of living. And so what they want to see is both political parties coming together to take on the issues of the people's business. But if the FNM is satisfied that that was the right approach, then I leave it to them.
In your opinion, is the Speaker unfair, or is she not being given a fair chance in her deliberations?
I think you said something earlier. You know, the Speaker today and on both occasions went by the rule book. And if you remember last week, the rule book simply said that if a member of Parliament wants to raise on a matter of national importance, and if there's a quorum, the House votes, the majority would rule, and so she'll govern by the rule. I think whether it's a PLP speaker or FNF speaker, there will always be a perception of bias towards a political party. I think that you'll never escape that. So the question of fairness will always continue to arise, irrespective of who's the political party. I think as Speaker, you'll try to do your best, and ultimately, both political parties, if the government in power and they're not satisfied, they'll complain if the opposition party complains.
Well, it's nothing new.
It's nothing new. It's nothing new.
The charges of being unfair is
nothing new. I think you alluded to Atalia Johnson.
Atalia Johnson
so that happens all the time.
complaints levied at her in her time as Speaker of the House. Meanwhile, though, how is this process going to be that leads towards the official appointment of ACP Shanta Knowles?
So over the coming days, government in the Bahamas will continue to announce the transitional phase. The Prime Minister indicated that he wants to make more changes at the leadership level of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. So I'll leave it to him to announce those changes, and I think the governor of Bahamas congratulate Shanta Knowles.
Well, certainly we look forward to having whomever in the chair that will help get this police force back in check, get the police force doing what it is sworn to do, and obviously not giving us an awful reputation, whether locally or internationally. So certainly, of course, the nation sits and await Shanta Knowles' tenure as Commissioner of Police. Thank you very much, Latrey Raming, the Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister. Thank you very much. Thank you. I didn't give you a chance to respond to what the FNM had to say, but that's you said it. You absolutely said it. But don't go anywhere, because I'll tell you, you talk about opinions and you talk about thoughts of everything that transpired today. That's coming up next, right after the break. Stay close.
Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Get ready to win Lucky Bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, I will be hard. I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the Lucky Taxi. You walk in the taxi, you got this lucky walk, Thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You only win $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island of Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Lucky Taxi.
So don't let your daily inspirations go to waste. Win now with our selection of lottery games. Play now at islandluck.com or at any of our locations. What's your inspiration?
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. We are going to get into some the hot topics, and the hot topics panelists, I couldn't leave them out tonight because I want to hear their opinions of exactly what transpired today from this morning in Parliament and at the same time on Bay Street. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors Leslie Miller and Peggy Scott. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you both here. Good evening.
Good evening. Good to be here. Thank you for having.
Yes, sir. And of course, ma'am. Listen, let's just jump right in. Before we even get into what took place, today was a message sent to all politicians, even for people who didn't show up on Bay Street. The Bahamas is at a place where it feels like it's teetering, and people want a clear direction. People want things to be different. Peggy, your thoughts about just where the temperament of the nation stands right now?
Shanique, thank you for having me. Good night, Bahamas. The people are at a point where they've had enough of being disrespected by those we hired to look out for our best interests, to make laws and policy to protect us, and to be open and transparent. If your boss asks you a question, answer. And so your silence, your disrespect in not answering, your disrespect in covering up, because that's how we see you. If there is things that need to be clarified, it is the responsibility of this government and any other government to make it clear. When Bahamians, and I said this in 2017, when Bahamians have to assume a situation, it will not be in the best interest of the serving administration. And so we are back at this place that we have to try and figure it out. We're calling each other. What you think? What you think? When the information, we're sure the information is before our leaders. Why do you continue to disrespect us? Why do you continue to repeat the same mistake? And the same action will bring you the same results.
Leslie?
I find it a little curious. It appears to me that a lot of people are overreacting to what happened today. The Speaker of the House was going through the motions of allowing ministers to speak. She was interrupted. A fuss broke out between her and one of the members of Parliament. And it got very heated. I was surprised, really, for the first time in my lifetime, being in Parliament for 15 years, that on the Mace, an historical item like the Mace, which really came into being in our minds in 1965 by Sir Lyndon, Honorable Arthur Hanna, and Sir Milo. But that was done for purpose to elevate black people to a place of belongership in this place called the Bahamas.
So what you're saying, you're saying the Mace incident that took place today really has no place in a 2024 Bahamas?
It trivializes what the Mace is. The Mace is there for honor and respect and decorum in the House. And today was just a misnomer of what the Mace is about. I don't know what publicity, get cheap publicity from it, if that was the choice you choose. I was sort of surprised that as soon as he got up, two people in particular started taking pictures, which made me feel that it was orchestrated prior to them going to Parliament. But be that as it may, we'd see what the story is next time. People are frustrated, I accept that. But most people out there were supporters of the Free National Movement, which is their right to go and support their own party. That's the right of every Bahamian. I just think we need to tone it down some, and that thing take its course. Everybody's upset.
But Leslie, tone it down. Now let's go to that point right there.
Yes.
The Bahamian people need to see some action. This isn't just about what took place today, whether it's theatrics, whether it was arranged, act, and obviously it was. This is about the fact of where the nation finds itself.
Yes.
And you heard them say what they want to see from the Prime Minister. What does this administration need to do to step on that and ahead of what's sort of almost boiling over?
Listen, at the present time, there are numerous problems in the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Defense Force. The matters has to be cleared up. I find it very troubling to me that the courts of the United States could bring charges or presumed charges against a Bahamian without giving the name publicly. Who the hell this guy is, who this politician is.
The politician.
That should be known by everybody. I don't care who it is. Doesn't matter. But the secrecy that they comes with to really frustrate the system. You got to figure out who it is. Well, if you call out other names, what's wrong with calling the person whoever it is?
Right.
And is it really a person?
Leslie, that's a good point, because that alone is adding to the distrust and the questions, and then also putting the Prime Minister is sort of under speculation, like, why can't you tell the Bahamian people who this person is? But again, as you said,
they were the ones who brought it up.
The Southern District hasn't named the person.
And the question one will ask, ordinary Bahamians will ask, why doesn't the U.S. authorities feel comfortable with telling our leaders, if they are drug-dealing MPs in the House of Assembly, why don't they tell our leaders? Why are they uncomfortable
They don't have to be
uncomfortable releasing this information? And so it will make us ask, is it a matter of distrust?
BS.
What we have to realize is we have a senior member of the police force on garden leave when the voice notes were clear, and it seems like if he's being protected there. And so if I can recognize this and other Bahamians can recognize this, don't you think the American authorities recognize this, that the chances of bringing result to a criminal matter where members of our parliament are involved, with members of our senior police force, senior members of the police force.
So provide the names.
Provide the names. Now put it out to us.
Ain't no matter trust.
Donald Trump, whomever, will provide the names. You don't have to tell our leaders. Tell us. Tell us, and we'll take it from there.
The president
because we want for drug dealing and gun running. Yeah. When gun running is the biggest problem with the murdering of our young people, and if we find out that a member of parliament is involved in gun running, I promise you we'll deal with it as a people. And this is the problem that we have.
People, Peggy, deserve to know. That's what
we want to know. And this member is probably sitting in the House of a Parliament, still getting paid. You drug dealing, gun running, human being.
You are making allegations that there's no proof of.
It is proof because the same information. I agree with you.
Okay, come to the damn name.
U.S. government. Forget our leaders who you don't trust. Forget our leaders who you think are
stop holding the Bahamian people
and let us know, because you're causing problems and further eroding the trust of our leaders.
I absolutely agree. I want both of you. Let's shift to the shake up. And obviously the changing of the guard in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. We have ACP Shanta Knowles, who Latre mentioned and gave sort of a resume of her and her experience in the force, the various areas she's filled, most recently the Northern District. Your thoughts about what she's stepping into, and then also what's expected of her, given the backdrop of the Prime Minister's announcements of an independent body that will sort of be there to ensure the police's independence and obviously hold them accountable. And then Trey mentioned an integrity commission that's also in the works. Your thoughts about all of this that's taking shape and happening, and as the Bahamas obviously needs a clear new direction for the Royal Bahamas Police Force moving forward.
My fellow Elutran, Ms. Knowles, my prayers, and I'm requesting the prayers of every Bahamian for you, because you have been trusted into a mess. You and people are saying congratulations. I'm praying for you because you are now being a lead, being put in charge of organization that is steeped in corruption, even according to the outgoing Commission of Police, a culture of corruption. This is what they're giving you, ma'am. And so I pray your strength in the Lord, because you're gonna need it.
Mm-hmm. From what I understand, this is a fine lady. She has a lot of experience in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. I'm concerned about some of the people she's gonna meet there, some of the snakes that are there, that may try to take out in certain areas. I'm very concerned about that. And hopefully she will clean the deck before or as soon as she takes office, and do what is necessary without any political interference in decisions that she makes for and on behalf of the Bahamian people. I wish her well. Mm-hmm. We need to clean it up. We need to clean it up once and for all, and those responsible. Even including the gentleman who was killed, and they have allegations now as to who might have taken him out. Get to the root of this problem, solve the problem, move on with our lives, because it affects each and every Bahamian. I don't want you all to have this notion in your head that when America or any other country says it's the government, they mean it's the damn Bahamian people. Remember, we are people of color, and they like to bring us down. The United States government, okay? Look at who they have in Congress. Look at who they have as a president, a man who was found guilty.
We bringing ourselves down.
We suppose we ain't bringing nobody down.
We bringing
they will
ourselves
attempt to bring
down.
us down on every level.
Leslie, that might be true, but the point about it is they said this investigation has been over 3 years now, and that they have solid
if grown, responsible senior members of the police and defense force and alleged members of parliament are dealing in cocaine trafficking.
Who are the members of parliament? And who are the members of parliament? They can be PLP or FNM.
I don't care.
So it started in 2 steps.
I don't care who they are. So PLP, FNM, you call your boys in your party and tell them, the Minister of Foreign Affairs was instructed to write his note asking for more information. You follow up with them and tell us if he wrote that note.
I don't make accusations that I can't back up.
I'm making no action. I'm making no allegation.
Give it to the Bahamian people.
Listen to me. If I had
provide us with it.
I'm making no allegation.
Provide us with the information.
The indictment said what it said, and I'm not going to pretend that it was not said. You want to pretend and say because we black. I'm a black woman, and I don't commit no crime. I serve on the Royal Bahamas Defense, and I am an honest, black, hard-working woman, so I can't say because we black, they're picking on us.
Peggy, the majority of Bahamians are. And so certainly we all are watching intensely of what comes out of the Southern District of New York.
Because we black.
That's
a fact of life. That ain't no fact of life. It's not a fact of life. It's because they were dealing drugs and running guns. That's the fact of life.
Very serious allegations. Now, again, Leslie, we are waiting for the...
taking the U.S. side.
No, we are
waiting. I'm taking nobody's side. If our government would be transparent with us, we wouldn't have to do it.
Listen, y'all, the host is speaking.
That's their responsibility.
Thank you very much. A very emotive topic, but certainly, and subject in particular. And as you can see, Bahamians, as a part of resetting the Royal Bahamas Police Force, need that information to be made public so that, again, the law can take its course, regardless of where the chips fall. And so I thank you both very much, because that right there is where Bahamians are as well. They want answers, and they want to see that, listen, the law does work, and it works for anyone who violates the law. And so certainly, absolutely. And again, the investigation started from early 2021. So we're 2021 officially. So wherever it is and whoever is responsible, Bahamians are saying, bring them black, white, red, that's yellow. Bring the person into account. I thank you both very, very much, Leslie Miller and Peggy Scott. Thank you very, very much. I want to thank, of course, at the top of tonight's show, Leslie, if you don't hush your mouth. At the top of tonight's show, we had, of course, representatives from the Free National Movement. Thank them very much for joining me here this evening. Of course, you saw Office of the Prime Minister's Director of Communication, Latre Raming, joining me in the middle segment. And in this segment, I tell you, it's get real hot up in here. You all listen. But that's where Bahamians are truly tonight. And so thank you both again, Leslie Miller, Peggy Scott. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you this evening for tuning in. We certainly enjoyed having you along, and we look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.